welcome to the January 2025 online event with Venetia Ramsey from Scrapworx. We carry on with layout number 3 using our About a Girl collection. We're going to use patterns from both the full pack and the primary pack and the essentials pack. I'll give you a rundown of what you need. Before we begin, you need to get your photos ready. So I'm going to use one photo that measures 10 centimeters by 15 centimeters portrait, and 3 photos that measure 8 centimeters by 8 centimeters. I have double matted them, so you're going to need to cut out of your light cardstock. I've used like a white. You need 3 that measure 8.5 by 8.5 centimeters and 1 that measures 10.5 by 15.5 centimeters. And then out of your dark, I've used like a chocolate brown. You're going to need 3 that measure 9 centimeters by 9 centimeters and 1 that measures 11 by 16 centimeters. And then just put your photograph, your light mat and your dark mat, just mat them one on top of each other like that. All right. So those are the photographs. The next thing you will need then are your pattern papers. So I'm going to be working, if you remember, we used this piece to cut out the tag. So we're going to use Sunshine and Happiness, but side B. Okay, so you would have cut out a little piece over here. So I want this full sheet, and you're going to cut from this side, the piece that's left over, you're going to cut an 8 centimeter strip. So you're going to end up with a piece that looks like this. That is from your Sunshine and Happiness. So that's going to create your left, and this is going to filter over onto the right. Okay. Then out of the back of the page called Story Time, if you recall, we've cut a tag, we've cut a few things out of this, all right? So we're working with the spare one that you've got, the back of it. You're going to cut a piece that measures 23.5 centimeters across, and we're going to keep the 30.5, and we're just going to overlap it a little bit like that. And then you will also cut some strips, a few border pieces. You're going to need 2 that measure 23 centimeters across, 1 centimeter down. You need 2 of those, and 2 that measure 24 centimeters across, 1 centimeter down. So you're going to need those like that. All right. I'm going to just keep those out of the way for the moment. Then I just want to put this so that it's the right. So we're going to overlap this one eventually so that we can create our 30.5 by 30.5. So I have it more or less in the correct spot. Then out of the primary pack, you're going to need both sheets that say Journey of Joy. We're also going to work with side B. Out of side B, you're going to cut one piece to measure 24 centimeters by 24 centimeters across and 23 centimeters. Let's try that again. 24 centimeters across and 17 centimeters down. And then another one that measures 23 centimeters across, 17 centimeters down. And they're going to pop in like that. So the short one, the 23 centimeter one on the left, the 24 centimeter one on the right. They're going to go in there more or less like that. Okay. Then out of the essentials pack, we're going to work with both the side A and B, our story unfolded. You're going to cut out of side A 2 strips, 1 to measure 23 centimeters across and 4 centimeters down. Okay, that one's going to go at the bottom here like that. Sorry, I lied. 23 centimeters across, 4 centimeters down. And then 4.5. So 23 centimeters across, 4.5 down. Then 24 centimeters across, 4.5 centimeters down. And that's going to go in like that. And then out of side B, the stripy side, we're going to do the same thing. You're going to cut one piece to measure 23 centimeters across and 2.5 centimeters down. That's going to go over there like that. And then another piece that's 24 centimeters across, 2.5 centimeters down, and that's going to go there. To me, like we needed a bit of separation over here to just to give us a decent border. And that's where these ones that we've cut will come into play. So obviously we're going to pop the 23 centimeter strip here and the 24 on the other side. We need one for the top and one for the bottom. And that goes in like that and like that. So we've got an idea of where everything's going. And if I can find where I've put the photographs, oh, there they are. So we're going to pop a photograph in over here and then to the side with one this side. So that is more or less where we're going with the patterns. Right, so then I have inked around the edges with Walnut Stain Distress Oxide ink. I've gone around all the patterns and the little embellishments. The only place I haven't is gone down the middle. I haven't inked down the middle of my page, but there you get the idea. Right, so I'm going to give you an overview of the embellishments that we're going to work with. All right, it looks like this. And I'm going to tell you out of where you're going to get them from. Right, so the beautiful, charming, You Are My Sunshine and I Love You So Much come from this page, Girls Are the Prettiest. So I chose Charming and Beautiful, and I took these two over here. All right, that's where these four come from. So you should have already cut everything apart. From the details, I used this Love, that's that there. And then I also used, I've cut out, well, it's from the next page. So we just need the Love from this, okay? And then that's from the details. And then from the page called Isn't She Lovely, you're going to need this Documented, that's that there. You will also need this one and that one. But with these two, I've chosen to use the other side of them like that. So I'm going to work with the B side of this. So I just cut that one and that one. If you want to use them somewhere else, if you've got a little offcut of this pattern, you can use that. Then from the laser cut sheet, Precious Keepsakes, you need this one and this one. That's those two over there. And then from the laser cut sheet, Girly Girl, you're going to need the teddy bears. So you need this bear and this bear and this bear and this bear. So you need them so that they're facing each other. And then I used one of her over here, over there. All right, and then from Smiles and Giggles, it comes from the Essentials pack. All right, I have used, you can see here with the tags that I've chosen, I've used this one, Cherish Every Day, Our Family, Sugar and Spice. Ooh, I would hope you could see, I've got Sugar and Spice, and then Adventures of Life. Did I tell you that one already? Yes. So Cherish Every Day, Adventures of Life, Our Family, Sugar and Spice. And then I wanted to use some of the tops, so the little tabs. So I cut off the tab from this one, the top here, and the top of the one that says Ordinary Moments. You can pick and choose whichever one you want to use, but that's more or less where I went with that. So you have an idea now of the embellishments that we're going to use. We're going to start the embellishing by working with the tags. I've chosen to title the page Cherish Every Day. I haven't chosen a big title or anything, just something small. And I wanted to put two tags here, and I wanted to put another tag on this side here. I didn't really want to use this saying Our Family Just Grew, but I liked the dots, the pink. I think that it offset everything. So I'm going to set it up in a way that we can hide the sentiment that's being used, because I really wanted to use the tag. I suppose I could have cut another one out, but if the work's already done for you, why? Right? And I think we're going to move all of this up just a little bit, so we've got space down the bottom to embellish with. Right, so we're going to pop this one down over here. I want it to be slightly off there, and then slightly over there like that. And then the same thing here. I want to have this one over there, and then the adventures of life. I'd like to see that as well, so we'll see how we get that set up so that we can use a little bit of both the tags like that. Right, so then I want, like I said, we're going to use those teddy bears and this little girly, and I thought we would use this. I want to cover up that date and then just slide her in behind there so she hides that word, but I then still get to have this Cherish Every Day as my title like that. Can even move it down just a little bit. We'll play around and put them in the exact positions we need them, because you don't want just one eye of a creepy bear sticking out. You want to make sure the whole face is shown. We'll play around with how we get that built up like that. Alright? And then to work on the other side, I did the same thing. We're just going to offset it just a little bit with the tag. So we're going to bring this one down just a little bit, and just going to repeat that exact process, and we're going to use this little bear as part of the embellishing like that, so that it works out nicely and you can still see what's being said on that tag like that. So I think that that looks really nice. And then just wanted to add a few little extra goodies in here and there. So we've got these and the tags. I'm just going to bring it all here. I've got this love documented, and I thought that would look quite nice over here. When you cut it out, it cuts out as a whole piece like that. But I wanted it to have like 3. So that's why I cut mine off and inked around the edges, so that it looks like I have 3 little embellishments over there like that. Okay, so for this, I want to use these as to carry the story through, so like that. So I figured I would do something like that. I'm sure you can hear my Yorkie snoring in the background there. She is very loud. It's a competition to see who can, if she can snore louder than I can talk. Alright, so that one's going to go over there like that. So you can see then that tells the story across, and I've got the diagonal going there. And then that's where one of these little tags are going to go in as well. Just to add that little something extra like that. Annabelle, shh. There we go. Like that. And then I want to repeat what happened here, what we have done at the bottom here. I want to repeat at the top. So I'm just going to use that exact, this time I'm going to put the tag to go at the top like that. And where's the word? And then the same thing, repeat this process. I'm going to put the little banner there and there with the word charming running on that, and then just offset that by moving the tag over a little bit. And then these 2 little sentiments, this one, you are my sunshine on the rainiest days. I thought that that would look good if we just tuck it in there. Then it helps bridge that little layer and gives the tab topper a purpose. Alright, and then I just want to repeat that down the bottom here like that to go in like that. So there we go. So we've got everything where it needs to be. I think that that has worked out really well. So what I'm going to do now is just put on some music, put glue on everything, and then I'll be back to set up the background with you in a bit. Right, so I have glue on everything. While I'm waiting for that to go dry and become tacky, I'm going to join my page. So I'm just going to work with a little bit of double-sided tape. Just going to stick that down the center here. Okay. Let me just tear that. And then I know that I need this to go to 30.5, so I'm going to put the 30.5, find that on my ruler. That's there. And then this one needs to make it to there like that. Right. So then that's going to work out really well. I'm going to use some glue as well. Let me get this one out the way so I don't get any glue on there. So by adding a bit of glue to my tape allows me to, so I didn't burnish it, gives me some wiggle room. Okay, so it just makes the glue makes the tape a bit slippery so that if I do make a mistake I can still move it. Right, let's go again. So my 30.5 is going to be on this line here. Let's get it straight. Which means this one needs to line up in the middle, like that. That looks pretty straight. Before I burnish, I'm just going to double check this side. Make sure that it gets to the 30.5. It does, so that gives it's gone on reasonably straight. And I can just burnish that in place. Alright. So we're going to start to put the page together, the base. This one is the one. The one that measures 24 centimeters is the one that's going to go on the right hand side. Okay. Right. So I'm going to start by working at the bottom. I'm going to attach my stripe first and then work my way up. And there we go. I'm going to attach that I think 4 centimeters from the bottom of the page. Maybe we do 4.5. Let's do 4.5. I think then at least we've got that little bit of leeway. So we're going to attach the stripe, the diagonal stripe, 4.5 centimeters from the bottom of the page. That one's going to go there. We'll just double check before we stick that is correct. No. Yes, I think that is going to look good. So we can do it. That's what 4 will give us. Okay, let's go with 4 centimeters from the bottom of the page. We're going to attach this diagonal strip. I think it just gives us a little bit more at the top. It's going to look a little bit better, I think. Luckily, by the time you get your sketch, all that thinking's been done for you. So we're going to attach that flush against the center. We're working on the right side of the page. So I've got the diagonal strip that measures 24 centimeters by 4.5. And then we're going to attach this piece. We'll attach that one flush against that one, then it all works out really well. Okay. So flush against the center of the page and flush against your diagonal, so they're just going to stack on top of each other like that. There we go, and then we're going to put in the 2.5 centimeter strip of the stripe. I think that works out perfectly. Now remember, on the stripy one, we're wanting to add, we're going to tuck a few things behind. So put the glue kind of down the middle and towards the bottom, so that you've got that space to be able to tuck little things in. Flush against the center, flush against the pattern paper, like that. And I have left space to be able to tuck things in. All right. And let's do the other side. Let's get that set up before we add the rest of it. Okay, so we said 4 centimeters from the bottom to attach the diagonal. So we're working with a piece that measures 23 centimeters across, 4.5 centimeters down. There you go, like that. Before I burnish that in place, I want to just double check that it lines up with the right hand side. So line your pages up at the bottom. Double check that we're happy that that's going to line up, and it does. Good. So now it's just a matter of adding the next layer and the next layer. So we're going to add the piece that measures 23 by 17 that we cut out of the pattern called Journey to Joy. We're working with the B side. Okay, and I'm going to put that flush down the center. Lumps like that, and then the stripe, the piece that measures 23 by 2.5 centimeters, that one's going to go at the top. And if you've inked around, remember, don't ink around the center, don't ink around the middle, so only the top, the bottom, the left or the right, depending on which side it goes. There we go. And look how nicely that's worked out. You make me smile. Okay, so then that gives me that side and this side. Line it up at the bottom and it all works out really well. Okie dokie. Okay. Right, so now we're going to add these little strips. So this one, I'm going to add them so that they are on the borders and not on the center pattern. And I have them going flush against that instead of going halfway over. That way it gives me a little bit more space for my photographs to go. So we're just going to lay that one I think I'm going to stick this one at the top because I forgot to leave space for the to be able to tuck some goodies behind here. So I'll pop that one at the top there like that. And where's the shorter one? That one. Yeah. So remember, I forgot to leave space to be able to tuck the little tag in. So I'm just going to put some glue down the bottom, towards the bottom of this border, so that I can tuck that little tag in underneath there, like that. Bring that in a bit. There we go. The same with this one. I've got that little piece tucking in the bottom of this one, so I'm just going to put glue at the top of this border. So I do have that sentiment that I want to tuck in underneath here, like that. And then for the top one, I've already left the space. Everything else here is going to overlap this one. Most of my tucking is going in at the top there. So I can just put this one down anyway. unless you've changed your mind and you want to put something somewhere else that appeals to you more, then you're welcome to do that. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Remember, it's always good to lift and hold in front of you, and then you can see if you've gone skew, if everything's nice and straight still, which it looks to me. Give everything a good burnish. See, that moved. There you go. Alrighty. Did not burnish this one in place. See if you don't, give it a bit of pressure and just move that glue, things do shift around. Okay, so next up then are the photographs. So remember, we want to put this one here. So I'm doing it so that it's more or less in the center of the that and that. Same with this. I'll give you an exact measurement now if that's what you need. Okay. So the main photograph is going to be about 9 centimeters from the bottom, and we can make this one then 12. Right. So let's attach the photograph that measures 10 by 15, the portrait one. That one goes 9 centimeters from the bottom of the page, or you can eyeball it so that it's kind of got the same spacing top and bottom. Then 1 to 2 mils away from the center of your page like that. Remember to hold that in place because it will shift. And then the other photograph we can attach 12 centimeters from the bottom of the page, more or less. Again, you can just eyeball it to see where it needs to go, to what looks nice for you. Remember, you don't want to go too far up with the photograph because most of your embellishing is happening down the bottom here. So you want to be able to carry the weight. You don't want to have a big gap between your embellishing and your photograph, unless you're going to then move your embellishing up a little bit. 12 centimeters. Once you've got the first one in, it's easy enough to get the next lot in. There we go. The 12 centimeters from the bottom, about 1 to 2 mils away from the center. Before I burnish that, I'm just going to double check and make sure that it's straight. Just going to bring that down a little bit. Okay. And then double check it with this side that I've got it in the right place. There you go. That looks about right. And then we can add the other one. There you go. Right, so what I'm going to do now is put on some music and put all the embellishments in place. I've already run through with you where they're going to go. I will also be adding some gel lines. I am going to stitch on on the borders, and I'm going to do a white stitching around here and then carry on with black stitching around here. I might change my mind and not do any stitching around this side. I might only just do this and this, but we'll see as we go along. I definitely am going to do that, and I'll see about the rest. Okay, so I'll put on some music and I will see you in a bit. there we go. That's everything stuck in place. I've chosen not to do the lines around here. I've done my gel lines around this part, but I haven't done the stitching over here. I think that it looks fine like that. You can, if you think you need the little extra stitching around here, you can go ahead and do that. If you don't like to do the gel lines, just leave that out. So I have created my visual triangle by using that. And then what I've done on this side, I've done on that side. And then what I've done in the diagonal here, I've taken across like that. Just so that the page flows. And by creating a cluster here and putting this in here, this pulls your eye across to this cluster, and then this brings you down to look over here. So I think there's a good flow on the page. I like the way the patterns have layered together. They're very, this is very contrasting to the green, and I think that even though it's like a very soft pattern with pastels and stuff, I think that it contrasts well with the green background, and I think by adding the dark green here just makes everything pop. I hope that you've enjoyed the process, and I look forward to seeing you in layout number 4. Thank you for watching.